Welcome everybody to another episode of Inquiring Minds, episode 31. I'm Hialeah Comic Bro, and as always, I'm accompanied by Conquistadork Javi. Javi, what's going on?
What's going on, man? Happy New Comic Book Day. I know things are, Tuesday, Wednesday. What day is it going to be now? But happy New Comic Book Wednesday to you guys out there. I know there's a lot of live shows going on today, tonight, so appreciate you guys being here. If you guys are watching on the replay, thank you guys.
Yeah, it's super busy tonight. There's like auctions going on, live shows. So I don't know who's gonna jump in. So I hope you guys enjoy it on the replay. What's up, No Good Comics, bro? Thank you so much for coming in, man. But without further ado, let's bring in our guest for tonight. Someone I've never been on with. Javi's never been. Oh, Javi has been on, but in an auction setting. So this is gonna be pretty cool. What's up, Kenny? What's going on? And here we have it for tonight. Barbarian Kung Fu.
What's up, y'all?
What's going on, man? What's going on?
Hi, guys.
What's up? What's up?
Hello. I'm trying to find the YouTube stream on my phone so I can see the chat. So I'm just not
cool.
going, what'd they say? Who said that?
I'll put it up, man. Right now we got No Good Comics. Thank you so much for coming by. I believe it was his birthday the other day.
Oh, man, nice.
Happy birthday, No Good Comics.
Happy birthday.
Comic Head 84. What's going on? Randy, Young Bucks, Old Goats, Man of Action Figures, Edwin. Thank you so much for coming by. I know it's a bit busy night. Thank you for coming by. Barbarian, you're our guest. We had your homeboy, Mr. Garrell, here a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I saw that. I was making fun of him the whole time.
I know. I saw that too. I kind of wanted to invite you so you wouldn't get, hurt, that your buddy was here. And
I have no feelings. I'm just a robot.
Dude, I was watching your videos today. And you don't have a lot. You really don't.
I went kind of hard for like 2 months, maybe 3 months. I made like a video a week, and I was doing the Power Records videos. Those are fun. Like I like those. That's something that you can watch anytime. Like they can stay up there forever. And like once people find out about the Power Records comic books, they're like, "What? That would be awesome to see." And then you go on YouTube and like you can read the comic and listen to it at the same time. And I'm not talking. That's the best part of it. Like you don't ever hear me, and so you don't see me or hear me. It's just the comic and all that. But
so you like
the ones like
basically what you're saying is you're lazy.
Kinda. I wouldn't say it's lazy. It's unmotivated. I just don't have the I don't know. Like you know how it is when you do something that you think is going to be really fun and like I'm having fun doing it. And you're like, people are going to love this because I love it. And then you put it on there and then you get like 10 views in the first 6 months it's on. And you're just like, well, screw it. I guess, I had fun doing it. I'm down.
Who cares, man? Who cares?
Yeah. The funnest ones to do, though, are the comic book rescue. Because it's all just me failing at trying to fix comics. Bro. I don't ever show the ones where I actually press them and make them look nice and remove the stickers and you can't tell they were ever there. I just show the ones I screw up real bad.
Bro, you know what? That's what I want to get to, man. Because you got this one video that I had never seen this done. And what he was doing was he was removing. It was hilarious. I got to tell you, the video's freaking drop dead fucking funny. But what you were doing, where you had a razor blade with some tape.
Yeah.
And all it was on the video was you're removing a sticker from a pawn shop.
Yeah.
On the comic.
Off this ASM book.
Yeah.
On the cover, yeah.
And he was using Zippo.
Yeah, Zippo fluid. That's my trick. It works, though. I mean, as silly as it sounds, it evaporates really fast, so it doesn't stink afterwards. And if you do it right, it comes right off, no problem.
Bro, you got the sticker off good, man, and you were fucking dead on with that blade, bro. I don't know how you didn't rip the book.
Yeah, it just takes patience, and you practice on I don't know if y'all swear in here very much. I never
you can swear.
Shitty books.
but yeah, you practice on really shitty books. Like everything. When I first started pressing comics, I went to this shop that has quarter books, and they're all garbage. Like they're all. It looks like somebody blew their nose on it, wiped their ass, and crumbled it up to it in the dumpster. You know, and that's what I was pressing, making those. And this is the same way with the sticker books. Like, I guess that book, that Spider-Man book, might be worth something if it was near mint, but
it is.
Yeah, but it's, to me, it's like I got it for 50 cents. Like 20 years ago, I got it for 50 cents.
Yeah.
So inflation and all, I guess, like, you know. And then I gave it to Mr. Gorell and wrote a note on it like, keep away from open flames.
Dude, that's the thing. Does the smell stay? Does it harm? Does the Zippo harm the book at all?
No, not at all. Now it will. The fluid will take ink off, so you got to be real careful with what you do with it. I did another one, and it's funny. I joke about this afterwards, but I did a whole 3-part one where I was taking like 30 stickers off of this Batman 1, and that's a newer book with like a hardstock cover, you know, and it's got ink and everything. And same thing, like the Zippo fluid just washed a bunch of the ink off because it's a different kind of ink. But I used a pocket knife instead of a razor blade. I couldn't find my razor blade, so I just used the pocket knife. And
you might as well get a machete, bro.
I know that could be the next one. I got like a big, like one of those big coconut knives, you know?
Yeah.
The handle and the blade.
Yeah, exactly.
So chip at it. But yeah, you just have to be real careful, like that you don't put too much, you don't rub too much on the ink and stuff. You try and keep the lighter fluid just on the sticker and let it soak through the sticker to the glue, and then it breaks down the glue and it comes right off.
But Barbarian, that's not what you were doing, bro. You were freaking spraying the book. You're saying two different things, bro. You were spraying, and then you would spray the Zippo, and it was on the cover, and then you would get a Q-tip, and with the Q-tip, he would spread the Zippo.
Yeah, well, that's what I said. The videos are me totally messing up.
It was, but the thing too, it was the play-by-play. I was doing subs. People are gonna, just freaking hate on me for this shit, and it's true. I was like, "What the fuck is this, bro?"
Yeah, and I'm calling out to Comic Tom. Please help me, Comic Tom. Save this book for me.
Is that something that you learned from someone else, or is that
I learned it watching Comic Tom? Like literally, like one of the first things that got me into YouTube videos was like pressing and cleaning. Yeah, because I had gotten out of collecting comics, and I got into more collecting toys.
Yeah, Edwin says it works.
The thing, it started being just too much. They take too much space up. They're expensive, and like you got to keep those things in such perfect shape that it just was stressful, and I don't want that, Right. And then like, this weird thing happened where I stopped collecting toys and comics, and I started collecting guns. And then once I got all the guns that I wanted, I started collecting comics again. But anyway, when I got back into it, I bought a collection from somebody, and it was full of great stuff, like great books, like early 80s up to like late 90s stuff. Like pretty much all the keys you can think of were in it, but they were all just a little bit dirty, a little bit stacking creases.
Right.
Nothing was near mint, but all of it had the potential to be. And so I started, looking into like fixing comics up, like repairing them and stuff like that, like by pressing and cleaning. And I've always had this mindset of like, I can fix it. If it's messed up, I'll fix it. Yeah. And so that's what got me into YouTube. And that was the first videos I saw of Comic Tom's, was him removing stickers. And he used lighter fluid. I don't know if he'll admit it. I don't know if the videos are still up or not. But
have you ever used you know what Goo Gone is?
I have some of that. I've never tried it. It's basically the same thing. It's like an acetone base.
Right.
So it's basically, as long as whatever you're using dries fast and isn't so abrasive that it'll just like pull the ink right off. That's the good thing with using lighter fluid. Like it takes a minute for it to break down the ink before it starts coming off.
Okay, let me ask you a question. I'm sorry if I got background noise, but I got two girls playing the Switch in the next room, and they get excited.
It's all good, man.
That's all that is, and I apologize for it. But have you tried that? Because I have one book that I can think of that has a sticker. It has one of those, like a 15-cent sticker on it.
Is it like the little one they use the gun to put on there?
It looks like an old 15-cent sticker. I cannot tell.
Okay.
But it's a Silver Age book. Have you?
Yeah, I didn't. I didn't film
that on a
it.
Silver Age book.
Yeah, I didn't film it, and it's ones that I really try hard on. I never think to film it. You know,
Right.
It's usually I'm filming ones that I know I'm gonna have a hard time with. But I just did one. I did a Fantastic Four. It was the first appearance of Ronin, and it had over the top of the 12-cent stamp or the 12-cent price. It had like a 35-cent sticker, like you'd see at a yard sale. But that shit was put on there like back in the 60s. You could see where like the sticker had shrunk and like there was glue marks around it.
Wow.
And it took a long time to get that off. Like a lot of very meticulous chipping, like just sitting there barely flecking, because you can tell when the two papers start to separate. It's just you get out a magnifying glass and you can do it faster, but I don't do
Dude,
that. After
seeing that video today, I think I'm gonna give it a shot because
Nice.
it's not a very.
I mean, this is the way I look at it. It's like it's already got a sticker on it, so it already has that depreciated value.
Right.
So if you remove the sticker and you can do it and not tear a hole all the way through the cover, then you haven't damaged it enough to where it's worth any less.
Right.
As long as you don't take any of the ink around the sticker off, if you just mess up the cover under the sticker, it was already messed up, so you didn't hurt anything. That's what I look at.
The book only cost me $20. I'm gonna give it a shot. Why not? You know, who cares?
Yeah.
You can only. That's the only way you can know if you can do it or not. You know.
Do it or not, right?
Yeah.
Now, my suggestion now would be to go find a really crappy book and practice on that first.
Yeah, that would be a better idea.
You know, like a freaking Turok that's got a bunch of stickers on the inside of it. Those are really hard to take off. The ones on the interior pages, that's a whole different ballgame. But yeah, it's
back to the pressing. Me and Javi dropped off a lot of books. We went up to Tampa and we dropped off a lot of books with a presser. Have you ever pressed for other people?
Yeah, I don't do it often, like because I don't charge people to do it. I just do it like for my friends. Mr. Gorell has sent me a couple books to press. I pressed some for. I did one for Big Will, but it wasn't like the defect on it was unpressable. You couldn't fix it. Like the whole book looked flat and perfect and nice, but it still had this gouge right through the center of it that I was hoping would press out, but it didn't. But yeah, I mean, I do. I tell them basically it's like this. I'm not charging you, and I'm not insured. So if you want to send me, your key book to press it, I'll do it. But if it gets fucked up in my press, it's not going to be because I did it wrong. It's just, if it gets fucked up, then I'm sorry. Yeah. I'll send it back to you, and you can have it back. That's the best I can do.
Yeah, no hard feelings. You tried, right? It's a
you tried, and that's it, man. That's a wrap.
Yeah, I've been doing it for, over a year now, and I've pressed hundreds of books. So it's not that I don't know how to do it, but sometimes modern books are the hardest. Old books, they're nothing. Like I press Golden Age books and I press Silver Age books, and I do those without even thinking about it. But the modern stuff, the newer stuff, it's got so much gloss, and you got interior pages with gloss, and all that stuff just wants to melt together when you press it. So you got to be careful.
Wow.
Yeah, I've actually turned modern comics. I turned one into a piece of cardboard. Like I had the heat too high and I pressed it for too long. Like I left the heat on too long. When I went to pull it out, it was hard as a board. Like I was
you're like, all right.
Yeah, it was funny because I bent it over my knee and you could hear it crackling. Like peeling the pages one by one.
Was it your book? Was it your book?
Yeah, it was one of mine. It was one of them I got out of the quarter bin.
Yeah,
it's something I bought, and I've done that before. Like I had a couple books. Somebody asked me if you could press books that have signatures, and I was like, you know what? I don't know. So I went into my junk books that I got. I got a whole box full of just crappy books, and went in there and got a bunch of different kinds of markers and ink pens and paint pens, and just started writing my name on all of them. Stuck it in the press, and I was like, yeah, they all work good. The paint pen you got to be careful about, but the rest of them are okay.
like
So
permanent
you
marker.
can press a book with the signature.
Yeah, like a Sharpie or an ink pen. Ink pen actually isn't bad because when you sign it with an ink pen, you're leaving a dent in where you write it. Like it's actually denting the book, and so it flattens that dent back out, and you just have the signature. But yeah, a Sharpie, it doesn't bother it at all. I used like a silver ink, like paint pen, and wrote it on there, and some of that ink stuck to the board I had on top of it, but the signature was still there. There was just like some specking, like some little flakes of the ink that came up.
That's cool, dude. I always wondered that. I've always wondered that. Hey, we got a lot of more people coming in. Finally, they're starting to trickle in. Thank you, everyone in the chat. What's up, geeks? Mr. Gretzky, Mark Knapp, Jeff Schultz, Edwin Diaz, Funk Soul Brother. I think I got everybody, man. Hey, so a question I gotta ask. It is a comic book show. How did you get into comics? Were you always into comics? How did that all happen?
Oh no, when I was a kid, and you've probably heard this story from so many people before, because it's not like it's an original story or anything. But when I was really young, I had a problem with reading, and like I was really into like G.I. Joe cartoons and Transformers, and every day I'd come home from elementary school and I'd fight my brother to pick what we're gonna watch, and my mom, she worked at a drugstore, and so she used to bring me home like the Star Wars figures and the G.I. Joe figures that they had, and so I had a bunch of Transformers, and one of my friends, he had like 2 G.I. Joe comics, and I really loved the show. Like I never missed it. And so I traded him some of my Transformers for a G.I. Joe #1 and a G.I. Joe like special yearbook, the yearbook #1, which is like the annual, I guess. And those were my first comics. And so I would read that shit over and over. I still have my #1, my G.I. Joe 1. The other one fell apart because I liked that one more, so I read it more. But my mom saw me reading these things, and so she started bringing me comics from her work. So every week when new comics would come in on the rack, she would get G.I. Joe, and she'd get Transformers and like Mask. If you remember Mask came out, she'd get me Mask and He-Man. And so I had all these like cartoon character comics, and that's what I read for like the first year. That's all I read was that stuff. And one day she brought me home an Avengers book, and I still I know which one it is. I don't know the number, but like every time I see it, I go, "Ooh, that was my first superhero book," But she brought me that, and I read it, and I was like, "This is stupid. I don't even know who these people are," And so it was like it got thrown like in the back of my room where all my stuff was, and for a long time, that's all I read was that kind of like cartoon stuff. It wasn't until I got in and out of it. I didn't collect like heavy until I was old enough to like know what collecting was really. But yeah, once I got I was big into skateboarding. Once I got to the point where like I had money, I would go around and I would skateboard, and like my money I had left over from buying skateboard magazines and stuff, I would get comics. And it would I didn't get to my town was really small, so we didn't have stores except for the grocery stores that sold comics. But whenever we would go to Florida on vacation, we'd go to these flea markets, and there was always it was in Webster, Florida. I don't know if you know where that's at, but they had like this humongous flea market, and there's a guy in there that has a comic shop in the flea market. And so every year I'd go buy comics from him because it's like I'm in there, I ain't got nothing to do. I'm like, hey, comics. So yeah, I got like my Spawn 1 from there, and I got my Lethal Protector 1 from there, and all this other, like every year I'd get new stuff from there. And it wasn't until like I was 19 or 20 that I started having money steady and could spend it on stuff I wanted. So it was like, okay, I like comic books. I could probably get some more of those.
Is the guy still there?
I haven't been back there, and shoot, I was a little kid then. It was probably, I think the last time I went there, Webster's there, the flea market's still there. I don't know if the guy's there though. But it was probably I might have been like 14 or 15 when I got there. I'm 45 now, so it's been a long time.
You grew up in Georgia?
No, I grew up in Ohio, and I moved down here like right around 2000. I moved to Atlanta, and then I lived in Atlanta for a couple years until I met my wife. Then we moved into we live in like a suburb of Atlanta.
Dude, there's a lot of people from Ohio.
Yeah, there is.
There's a lot. There's a lot, man. In our community, everybody says Florida, but there's a lot from Ohio, either in Ohio or from Ohio.
Yeah, I grew up all the way at the top, almost up by Toledo. It was in Defiance County, is the name of the county, and Hicksville was the name of the town. Like I literally lived in Hicksville. So funny.
Hey, so how's the comic book scene in Georgia?
It's pretty cool. Like we have conventions and stuff. Atlanta has, Atlanta Comic Con. We have the Atlanta Comic Convention. They have it. It's every 3 months. It's just a 1-day con that they do up there at like the Marriott. But it's cool. Like the same vendors come up there. I have like 4 shops right around me that I can go to at any day.
Nice.
Really?
Like, I literally have one. I always tell people, yeah, the shop across the street from me. There's a shop that's like across the street and like 2 blocks down. That if I wanted to, I'm kind of lazy, but if I wanted to, I could walk there, get some exercise.
Hey, today before we went on, you were saying you went New Comic Book Day. Was that the shop you went to?
No, I have another shop that's it's a little bit farther, but they I have like my pull box set up with them, and they have a lot of back issues, and they have a lot of dollar books. Like that, their selection of actually priced back issues isn't very big, but they have probably like 30 boxes of dollar books, and then they have like another 20 boxes of 50-cent books.
Oh wow!
And
yeah, that's my spot right there.
Yeah, I mean, don't get too excited because it's my shop. I've been there. There's not a lot left. You know what I mean? I go in there about every week and try and pick out stuff to sell in the auctions. That I think, okay, I can sell these 3 books for $4. I might be able to make 50 cents off of these.
Yeah.
If I do that, I'm doing good. But yeah, I got a box set up with them, and that's something new. Like I've never had a pull box at a shop before, but I started going in there, and every time I'd show up, because I sleep until 2:00 every day, every time I'd show up, all the stuff I wanted was gone. And it's like, man, I wanted that Something's Killing the Children. There's none left. It's like, you should have got here earlier. Pull box. Like, what's that? Then he's like, you do it on the computer. I'm like, what's that?
So today, a lot of people are saying today was like the first New Comic Book Day that actually felt like New Comic Book Day since everything's gone on. Because it looked like there was some big books coming out. The Something is Killing the Children, and everybody's talking about, what is it, Punchline or something? There was
that B cover that has Punchline on it. I don't read stuff, but I know I saw that there. Somebody, I guess there's is that Batman? Is that the Batman book?
Yeah, Batman 92.
There's still a lot of Marvel stuff that came out, though, I noticed.
No, not a lot. There was some.
Honestly, like, I don't know about y'all, but DC and Marvel, both of them have been so disappointing for like the last year that 90% of what I buy is indie. Most of the stuff I buy that's Marvel is either a cover buy or like I collect J. Scott Campbell, so I'm getting all the Black Cats. It's just a freaking horrible story, but it's J. Scott Campbell, and I have OCD, so I got to have them all. So I still buy it every month. So it's like I've read number 1, and like I've never read any of the other ones. It's up to like 11. I spent all that just so I can have J. Scott Campbell.
I'm in total agreement, man. I think 95% of what I read is in the independent comics.
Yeah,
just the
indies have been really good.
Amazing stuff.
It's cool when it seems like you get a better like rotation of new stuff. Like you get new stories all the time. You're not just like, okay, I'm going to continue this story. I'm going to throw this person in, that person in because they were popular. Maybe they'll bring this book back to life. I don't really like that. Like I've heard that Daredevil is really good right now.
Everybody says that. That's one that I'm not reading.
Yeah, Chip Zdarsky, I guess he writes it.
Yeah.
But I hadn't read Daredevil, God, since like the Silver Age. I've never even read that. I read the Silver. I was collecting Daredevil back like 25 years ago. I was buying that stuff, and I was just buying the Silver Age stuff. So that's really all I ever read then. And I don't have the best memory, so I don't even remember most of it. But.
Yeah, dude, me too. I think everybody's pretty much agreeing with us as far as the indie. It's just better stories, man.
Yeah,
it's like, you know, when you watch TV, you don't want to see the same characters in different shows all the time. Like, you might like that character, but you know, you might not want to see them in this or that. And with the indie stuff, it's something new. It seems like every 6 months this story ended and something new came out.
Dude, Jeff Schultz, he just put a comment. I don't know. You can't see the comments, right? He just put a comment on a highway between me and Adrian, APM, or Adrian, okay, in Wisconsin. There's a Bong recreation area exit sign. Yes, I have stopped for a photo. Sure, Jeff.
Dude, that's like, okay. That must be like the halfway point between, like, you know, like Boulder and Denver.
Yeah, that sounds crazy. That sounds
like, okay, I drove far enough. My buzz is wearing off. Let me pull over.
Pull over. Dude, that's crazy. Oh, dude. So you also you like, okay, guys. Before we ever go on, we don't spend a lot of time backstage. All right, because we kind of ruined the conversation. But we do talk a little bit, bro. And you brought up a fact. You were asking me about Javi and the music and stuff. And you put up. Tell them what you said about instruments and playing instruments. It's pretty crazy.
Oh, yeah, you had asked if I played an instrument, and yeah, I can pretty much play anything that you put in front of me. Like, if you give me a couple minutes with, like, you know, like, I don't play the clarinet. But give me 10 minutes or so with it, and I'll be able to make enough noise that makes sense out of it to make a song. And so it's like that, like trombone, trumpet. Like, I've never played those, like never owned one to play it. But I used to do that in the high school band. I would just go around and snag people's instruments when they weren't looking. I would, like, go hide, like, in the room where you stored your instrument. I'd go in there and I'd try and play their instruments. Everybody get mad. You're spitting in my stuff. Like, I'll get over it.
So,
but yeah.
Were you in band then?
I was in junior high. I was in band, and then in high school, I think I was in band for like 2 years in high school, and then I realized how uncool it was, and so I stopped doing that.
Dude,
my parents didn't want me to because they invested so much. I played the tenor saxophone. They had invested so much money in my saxophone. Like, I had a real legit, like, freaking blues saxophone. Like, that shit was like $1,200.
Yeah.
I told him one day, I was like, I don't want to play in the band anymore. And my dad's like, no, you're going to play in the band. It'll look good on your college resume. I'm like, I ain't going to college. What are you talking about? But they were like, no, you can keep doing it. And so I came up with this great solution to get out of it, where I pulled all the pads and the cork off of it. Like, tore them all off, and then just, like, stuck them on there half-assed so that they didn't work anymore. And I was like, my horn stopped working. I can't play it anymore.
Dude, that's dirty, bro.
I know. And my he could tell I did it. So they were like, fine, don't do it anymore. And he sold it. But yeah, use my saxophone.
Oh, man.
Can you do that? I got a feeling you can, Javi.
I mean, I'm not going to say I can. No, that takes time for sure. But knowing a musical language and playing an instrument, it's, you know, it goes hand in hand.
When you play guitar, do you read music, or do you play by ear?
I started off pretty much by ear, but I taken lessons, so I do know how to read music and stuff like that. Okay. And like, I went to school for music.
Okay, see, I'm the opposite. I did it the other way around. I started out with music, reading music, and transferring it to the saxophone. And then when I got guitars and stuff, like, I don't know how to change those notes to that instrument. So I just started, like, okay, I play this note on this fret, and it sounds kind of like this. And so I know this and that go together, and then pretty soon I know this is a chord, and then and then it goes on from there. And then I get stupid little instruments like this, my coconut harp, and then I learn how to play songs on the coconut harp because it's just a bunch of little notes and shit like that. Like I found that at the flea market, and I was like, "Oh, cool."
I was about to say, dude, I don't think I've seen a coconut harp before.
Yeah, that's what I always
kalimba.
when people talk to Rod. They give Rod the Rican a hard time about the coconuts. Like I have a coconut harp. and
it's
called a kalimba. I believe it comes from Africa.
I don't know. I got it at the flea market. But all these things, they all slide up and down, so you can literally tune this. I'm not gonna do it right now, but I had it tuned to where I could play Crazy Train on it. I was going It was pretty funny. I dropped it and fell out of tune, so I just never put it back the way it
was. You're the Randy Rhodes of the coconut harp, right?
There you go. Yeah, but like I played guitar, but mostly I was in a band back in like right out of high school for about 5 years, I guess, and mostly played guitar. I played bass, and every night we were like the Beatles kind of. We would all switch around who's singing and who's playing what. So like we even had songs I played drums on, and because the drummer wanted to play guitar and sing because he wrote a song, so I was like, okay, I'll play drums, you play guitar. Dude, it was fun.
That's freaking awesome. What kind of music you into?
The stuff I listen to, like I don't listen to a lot of modern stuff, like stuff that's come out recently. Mm-hmm. Most of the stuff, like what's in my like shuffle thing, is like I guess late 80s to mid 90s punk rock music and hip hop. Nice. And like I like a lot of older, like like Johnny Cash and stuff like that. Like I like a lot of different stuff. Like I got all kinds of different weird stuff on there. Wu-Tang Clan, and then you have the next thing you have is 7 Seconds, and then the Ramones come on, and then it's Johnny Cash, and then you got like Conway Twitty, and it's like it's just a big mix.
It's very eclectic, right?
Yeah, it's like all the music from when I'm growing up, because my parents listened to country. Okay. Well, my dad listened to country. He's a big Willie Nelson fan. My mom listened to like John Denver and the Beatles. And like I grew up with Metallica and freaking Slayer, and then my brother is a big hair band, like freaking Kiss and Bon Jovi and shit like that. And so all this stuff is going through my head. And then the 80s hit, and NWA comes out, and freaking Two Live Crew comes out, and I'm like, fuck all that music. This is where it's at.
Dude, so the reason I'm laughing is because me and Javi had that road trip.
Yeah,
and I was kind of he was the DJ, and I was kind of like, I was just throwing out play this song and play this song. I asked him that same question. Did you like the hair bands? And a lot of people hate on the hair bands, but it was to me the hair bands I think it was probably 81 to 83. They were actually very fucking good.
Yeah, you're talking like Rat and like.
Dude, Rat is. People hate on Rat. Rat was pretty good when they first came out.
I loved it.
Yeah. When they first came out, that shit was good.
Yeah, man.
I had them put on.
When Smoking in the Boys Room came out, the video on MTV. Like every time it came on, you stopped what you were doing and you watched it.
It was that one and the other one. I'm on my Home Sweet Home. Home Sweet Home.
Yeah. That's funny because I used to practice. We had a lip sync contest at my elementary school every year, and every year I would say I'm going to do Home Sweet Home, and I would practice it in my bedroom like I had this whole thing I was going to do. I never did get the courage to do it though.
Dude, Home Sweet Home, that shit was the shit, dude. That one. And what did we put on, Javi, in the car? We put on Quiet Riot.
Quiet Riot, that's the one I was thinking.
Yeah. Quiet Riot. Yeah, like Twisted Sister.
No, Twisted Sister. No, not Twisted Sister. No. Twisted Sister with the hair bands ended for me when what is it? Striper. What was the guy? Cherry Bomb or Warren? Oh, Cherry Pie. That was garbage. The video was good.
That's funny because I've seen that band Warrant so many times in concert that it's not even funny.
Oh my god, I
They
can't.
used to come with Poison. Like there wasn't a whole lot of bands that would come near where I lived, but there was like Fort Wayne, Indiana was really close, and so they had like an amphitheater there, and or it was a coliseum. So Warrant and Poison would come there like every other year. So I saw them bunches, and they would switch who the headliner was. One year Poison opened up for Warrant, and then the next year Warrant would open up for Poison. And it was pretty
Dude, Poison was good, bro.
Yeah.
They were.
Was a badass guitar player. He got all whacked out on freaking coke and shit.
Did he really?
Yeah, he got all kinds of messed up.
Oh shit. Yeah, dude. But I have fun memories of those years, man. I love her bands.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Like when I first started I started playing guitar when I was like 11 or 12. Nice. And that's probably right around the time that I really started getting into that kind of music. And so like I can't do it now, but at the time I would learn to play all those songs. Like just like get the tab books, you know, where it says like put your fingers here and like learn to do that. Like that's how it was with Metallica. I would buy all the Metallica tab books. I learned to play all their songs. It's crazy.
Metallica was badass. When they first started, they were so like, what the fuck is this shit, dude? This is, what is
like punk metal? Yeah.
That was crazy. Let me highlight Rob's. I like rock, but after grunge turned into emo, I stopped listening. I still listen to the old rock, and Rob, you're gonna be surprised, dude, but I love house. I love techno. I listen to that every freaking day.
Yeah, he does.
I love dance music, man. I freaking love it.
Yeah, NYC in the house too. What's up, NYC?
That's basically it, right? And then with a little ding, 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 or some shit. I love it, dude. My wife is always like, "Oh, here comes the music with no words." That's the beat.
Hey, Jazz doesn't have any words.
He's just listening to the beat for hours. Yeah, dude. Unruly, the spandex and the makeup. Yeah, hair bands.
So yeah, I was big into music when grunge started coming out, like Nirvana and Alice in Chains and all that, and like that was like I was playing by ear, like playing music by ear. So I learned how to play all that stuff as it came out. We used to just play around at band practice playing those, and then we'd be like, okay, let's get serious and play our own stuff.
Yeah. So do you have like original stuff that you still kind of mess around with, or?
Oh, that's pretty much all I play. I don't really. I goof around playing cover stuff, but I never learn the whole thing.
Yeah.
You know, so I'll play like a riff of something. Yeah. And I'll learn that, and people will be like, "Oh yeah, that's that song." And I'm like, "Yeah, but you should hear this whole song that I wrote," and it's like totally different. But I was just playing a little while ago, and like I've been so long since I played guitar a lot that all my calluses are gone. Yeah. And I was like, "Yeah, my fingers hurt. What's up with that?"
Got to get back in the groove.
Yeah, I guess I do.
Did you? What was your favorite grunge band? What was your favorite like band of the '90s? Were you more Nirvana? Were you more Pearl Jams, Red Hot Chili Peppers?
I mean, I like Radiohead. They're really good. Temple Pilots.
Oh my God! Stop the show.
Yeah, he loves Radiohead.
It's really good too. I really like all three of those.
You like Radiohead?
Yeah, Radiohead's really good.
Dude, they're up there. I fucking work.
You need a Kleenex or something?
Yeah, bro.
They're the best, dude. They're the best.
I really like their stuff. They Radiohead did an MTV Unplugged. I think it was them. They did it a long time ago. I think it was them.
If I've seen it, I don't remember, dude. But
maybe I'm mistaken. It might have been somebody else I was thinking of.
But they're freaking Radiohead guys, dude. My kids, that's the music of their youth, because that's all they heard when they were little kids, and that's all I had on freaking on the car radio. That's all they heard, that and Tribe Called Quest. I was big into Tribe Called Quest.
Yeah.
But Radiohead, I still listen. I still freaking put on Radiohead all the time. Every album that comes out, I get it. Dude, look at all these. Everybody's now a Soundgarden.
Soundgarden is great.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Soundgarden. I know everybody thinks that or thought that
what's his name?
It's on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he died now, but everybody always said how great he was. They did that
oh, what's his name, bro?
Chris Cornell.
Chris
yeah.
Cornell.
They did that Temple of the Dog with
with
Pearl Jam.
Yeah.
And like I thought that was the best Soundgarden at all. Like I mean they have good songs, don't get me wrong. I just thought that like I was never a big fan of like his voice and how he sang. I don't know.
They weren't my top band, but I liked them. They weren't my top band. Let me just go through the chat real quick, dude, because everybody's naming bands. First of all, Rob says his first concert was the Nirvana Unplugged. That is freaking crazy.
Yeah.
Oh man, you are so lucky.
That's crazy.
That's like a history moment that you got to witness.
Damn, dude, that's crazy. Yeah, it's epic. Geeks.
Yeah,
bro.
that's one of the songs they played on there. The Lake of Fire. That's on there. It's I forget who. Meat Puppets. That was their original song, and that was one of the songs I was asking my wife, like, what are those songs I used to play for the kids when they were little? Because my kids used to beg me to play for them when they were going to bed. And I was like, yeah, I used to play Lake of Fire all the time for them. And I'd be talking about go to the Lake of Fire and fry. And my daughter's like, song about burning.
Bro, look at who Geeks is bringing up. Steve, bro. Gore.
Oh, God.
That's
Eric's seen them. Eric has seen them, yeah.
Dude.
But they get, thrashy and funky, yeah.
Yeah. So,
yeah, the whole time I'm listening to that stuff, I'm listening to like the Misfits too, and like shit like that, like the early punk stuff. And because I was really big into the Misfits. I got into the Misfits later on, like after they had broken up, but it was they're really good. I really like them.
They're really good, yeah.
Dude, Geeks is dark, dude. Look, my first show was, I don't even know how to pronounce that.
Sepultura.
And
Brazilian, I believe.
Dude.
Sepultura.
Fire.
Monster Magnet. My first concert was ZZ Top.
Oh man, Monster Magnet. This is okay. Story about first time I ever went to Atlanta. I was probably 18 years old, and we went to EMI Records, which was still small then. They had EMI Records was run out of like a strip mall, and so like my friends that lived down here, they had moved up to Ohio, and they're like, hey, let's go dumpster dive at EMI Records. We'll see if we can find anything good. We found 4 boxes, 1,000 in each box of the Monster Magnet EP, like their first ever EP. They were all like perfectly stacked in there. I mean, think how bad that band felt. They're like, our shit isn't even good enough to give away. They're just gonna throw that shit in the garbage.
Dude, that sucks.
We took them things to the house, and we literally like nailed them to the ceiling. So our whole ceiling was covered with Monster Magnet CDs. And then that's how I learned you could throw CDs in the microwave, and like they'll make like lightning. So we put them in the microwave and turn it on, and it would shoot lightning all over inside.
Wait, dude, what?
Yeah, if you put a CD in the microwave, it's not enough metal to like blow your microwave up. I mean, I guess if you did it for a long time, it might, but you put it in there for like 10 seconds, and it's like a lightning storm inside of it. There's all this lightning.
Yeah, it's like those globes that you put your hand on and you get the lightning.
Yeah, exactly. It looks just like that. It's so awesome.
Come on, Hialeah, you know.
Dude, okay, dude. That's
not try this out.
Wait. That's one of those moments that's like, who was the first person, bro? That thought of food, eating.
We figured this out. Okay, I might have been doing a lot of drugs at the time, but we figured this out the same day we figured out that you could fling bologna and it'll stick to your bare chest standing up. You can. So we started. We had this friend of ours that was big. We drew a big target on his chest, and we were playing like yard darts with this dude with bologna. It was so fun.
That's some good shit you had, bro.
Yeah.
That's some good shit. Hey,
our stuff came from Canada. It didn't come from Mexico. We got all the good stuff.
What? fuck? Hey, I just want to go back, man. NYC said he worked with Chris Cornell for 2 years, bro. How badass was that?
Yeah. That's. I remember Javi saying that he was like a producer or something.
Yeah,
or something like that.
that's freaking crazy, dude. Yeah, music, man. We're talking music, dude. I can't believe you're a Radiohead fan. That's crazy. I never would have thought you would have said that.
Do you have any like?
They're good. I mean, I've never heard anything that I was just like, "Fuck these guys." Yeah. There's some bands I've heard like, okay, you know, they're okay, and then you hear that one song, you're like, "Fuck these guys." But no, I've never. I've always everything I've heard from them I liked, or you know, it was good enough that it was tolerable. I didn't boot it.
Me too. And the thing is, I barely know any of the names of their songs because I just put on. I know Paranoid. I know a few, but I just put on the CD and just let it play, and it's just like, dude, it's like, oh my god, it's so good, dude.
Yeah. I don't know the names of any songs. I'll tell you right now.
I'm horrible at that.
My phone is full of music. I probably got like 2,000 songs on it because that's what I play my music through. And if I organize it by songs, I won't know any of the band. I won't know who's what. It all has to be organized by band, and I just leave it on shuffle anyway. But I know every word to every song on my phone now. Because it's all stuff like the newest stuff I have is A Day to Remember. I don't know if you know who that is. They're like a hardcore punk-ish.
Yeah, I've heard of them.
Yeah, that's like the newest stuff I think I have. And then like I just have a lot of like weird obscure stuff like 15 and This Bike's a Pipe Bomb and other weird stuff like that. Like not very popular.
You listen to the radio?
No, not at all. I don't really watch TV either. I watch YouTube and I watch American Pickers.
All right, bro. So, okay, we're gonna get a little personal. When's the last time you shaved that beard, bro? When's the last time the world saw your face?
Okay, I'll tell you this. I have 3 kids. My oldest is 19. My next oldest, well, she'll be 19 in October. She's 18 now. And then it's 17 and 15. And 2 of my kids have never seen my face.
Get the fuck out, dude.
Yeah, I've had it that long. Like I've had it for at least, 16 years.
God, you trim it? You trim it?
I mean, I do a little, but it's at the point where it doesn't really grow anymore. They have this thing that's called terminal. When like in the beard community, I don't pay attention to that. But a guy I used to work with is a beard guy, and he told me, "Oh, you're terminal. Yours isn't going to grow anymore." But yeah, like if I cut all the ends off, it'll grow a little bit, but I don't care. I don't have a beard.
That's interesting.
Cool. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not here because like it's a trend or like I want to be like in the cool beard club. I have really sensitive skin to shaving, so I just said I'm not going to shave anymore. But I do have to trim my mustache. It gets really long.
It gets in your mouth, right?
Yeah.
Dude, you know what I realized too in your videos? Dude, you take off your glasses, you look a lot younger.
Oh, I might.
He looks younger, don't he?
I think I look sleepier.
Like you did videos without your glasses, and I was like, "Oh shit, dude! He looks older with the glasses."
Yeah, when I'm doing stuff up close, like I have perfect vision up close.
Okay.
It's anything like from right here out that I can't see anything.
I'm the complete opposite. I can't see shit up close, pretty much. It's like you can look at the chat. I have to like lean in shit.
I would love to have to just have reading glasses. See, I used to wear contacts for the longest time, but then I got a job where I'm indoors, and so I don't need to wear sunglasses all the time anymore. So I just started wearing my glasses again. And contacts are more expensive to buy every year than this pair of glasses I've had for like 5 years.
Yeah.
Dude, Unruly, let me read Unruly real quick. Because I was actually watching Triumph on YouTube at the US Festival yesterday. True story, I was at the US Festival. There was 250,000 people between me and the stage, but I was Quiet Riot was there. Well, I just said Triumph. That was a big deal of the US Festival. It was in California. Wow. I heard that on the radio. It was pretty epic. Dude, that's crazy.
I went to they had, when Lollapalooza first came out, the first year of Lollapalooza, I went to Indianapolis, Indiana, and went and saw Lollapalooza, and Beastie Boys were there. There was Parliament Funkadelic, Smashing Pumpkins. That was another band I really liked, was Smashing Pumpkins. They were there. But
hey, wait a second, Barbarian. Did you see the Jim Rose traveling show?
That it was on the slideshow.
Yeah,
like
you didn't see that?
We kind of like went over there for a while, but there wasn't. I don't remember much of it.
Bro,
I remember Flaming Lips played over there. And we went to play.
I went to Lollapalooza that year.
Really?
And, dude, I remember Jim. I was watching the Jim Rose show, and this was like a freak show. It was like people. Dude, this guy had his stretched his nipples, and he would pick up like a cinder block with his nipples pierced. And totally, he did it with his dick. He did it with his.
Yeah, that's Mr. Lifto.
Yeah, Mr. Lifto. Then there was a guy that would like drink all this awesome junk, and then he would regurgitate it out, and it would just come out through his nose, and it was, dude, it was. And then I remember they gave it to somebody in the crowd to drink. Bro, there was people in the audience fainting. There was other fucking people in the audience throwing up. It was so fucking gross, bro. Look up the Jim Rose show. And then
I remember it. We didn't go and watch it. The guys I was with.
I was there a good hour watching that shit. It was crazy. This one guy with a nail, he would stick like a long ass nail. And he was like,
and like he had a deviated septum, and he would just shove it all the way up into like front of it.
It was so freaking gross. And while we were watching that show, Ice Cube, we could hear Ice Cube on the stage going.
You would hear the music on the background.
It was going crazy, man. Oh, dude, I love that. That was one of the greatest days of my life, dude. And then the next day, Sunday was beautiful. And then Sunday night, Hurricane Andrew changed everything, bro. That was crazy.
Shit.
That was crazy. That was freaking nuts. Hey, what's up, J Hood?
Yeah, we had I was there with, like, I went with like 5 or 6 people, but me and one other dude that I was friends with, like, we stuck together most of the whole time. And we were in the grass. Like, it's a amphitheater. So you had the grass, and then you had the pay seats. And so to get anywhere near the stage, you had to show your pass for the seats. So we were stuck in the grass because we didn't have no money. But Beastie Boys came on. And so it was like the perfect opportunity for the perfect storm. The 2 bouncers on both sides of us. One dude is looking over this way because there's this lady fighting with her boyfriend. And I mean, they're fighting. She's smacking him and all this stuff. And I remember it plain as day. And then pretty soon this other lady comes up to the other bouncer guy and gets him. He's looking the other way. And it's like, they stole my pass to get down here. You need to go get my pass. And like, I look at my friend and I look at both of these guards and I look at my friend again and I just smile. And we took off running. And when we did that, the whole field behind us followed us down in there. So we got like all the way down to the railing, got smashed up against the railing down there, but we were right there in front of the Beastie Boys.
Nice.
And they were trying to pull people out. So we like pushed our way into seats and we're standing next to people. So we got to stay there the whole time. It was awesome.
I got to see the Beastie Boys there, and I was up close because we didn't have those seats in ours. It was just grass all the way, right? And I was up close for the Beastie Boys because I'm a massive Beastie Boys fan too.
Yeah, same here.
I just ordered a print. I found the print online, man. I can't wait to get it in. Anyway, dude, I remember MCA. No, not MCA. It's MCA, Ad Rock, and
Mike D.
And Mike D. It was Ad Rock. He was my favorite. Ad Rock.
Yeah.
He was my favorite, dude. And they would play the instruments, and he was playing like a big bass.
Yeah, he plays a stand-up band.
Yeah, the stand-up, dude. That guy, I don't know how he could play because he was so fucked up, dude. I was like just looking at him, like, dude, how the fuck is he? He was just like, dude, amazing concert, dude.
It was really good. Like in the middle of the Beastie Boys set, Parliament Funkadelic came out and just started
damn. Yeah,
it was pretty cool.
We're at ours, dude. What's up, Biggie? Did you I believe it was that year, the Lollapalooza, or it might have been the year after. That's the two I went to. Was Ministry part of it?
I don't remember them being there.
It might have been the year after.
Because they had the whole like the B stage that was out in the grass.
Yeah.
In the little.
It might have been the year after. It might have been the year after because I saw them twice, and Ministry came on, and dude knocked the socks off of me, man. I freaking fell in love with Ministry. But anyway, yeah, dude. Hey, how were the mosh pits?
Oh God! Well, when you're like the place I was at for that, like there was no place to really do it because the grass field, like where you sat in the grass, was on such a steep wedge. Like if you stood up on it, you had to lean back. Yeah. So it was made to sit down in the grass. But there were still people that like, you know, they're pushed all the way up against where the concrete wall was. And so you would have people jump from above them and land on top of them and then slide down all the people to the sidewalk. And then they'd run back up the sidewalk, like the stairs to go up the hill. And then they just keep doing it. And people got so pissed off. You'd hear them yelling because it's like, you don't know it's coming. And the next thing you know, from behind you, some dude's hand hits your head. Dude, everything like down in the covered part at that show was all seats with railings, and you had like VIP boxes that people paid for, and there was no really good place to like get crazy.
Not down here. Not down here. It was just a free for all.
Yeah,
I remember I didn't get into the. I usually would get into mosh pits, but I got to tell you, man, the mosh pits at that show, I was terrified. There was just these fucking huge guys, and they were just, dude, they were moshing. I was like on the edge of the pit, and I was just looking, and I remember this one guy, bro, he looked like a freaking Viking, dude, and anybody that would come close, he was just knocking people. I was like, you know, I was like in my early 20s, and dude, I was terrified. I was like, there's no fucking way I'm going in.
Yeah, you're like, I'm not doing that, yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, I'm way too big of a pussy to get into the mosh pit. No. I just stand there and be like,
no, I'll get in, dude. But that mosh pit, I was like, no. No. No, but I got scared, dude. I pussied out, but dude, it was I felt like, dude, they looked like Conan guys, bro. It's just like big fucking guy. I was like, dude, you're crazy.
I know what you're talking about. Like I've been to some punk shows that got like that, like Dropkick Murphys. Their mosh pits are crazy. People in there, like they literally, that's all they're doing is fighting, and they're loving it. I'm just standing like.
Have you ever gone to a Jane's Addiction show?
I never got to see them live. No.
Bro, their mosh pit gets pretty fucking crazy, bro.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that was one of those bands that was, you know, it was big in like the indie kind of scene.
Mm-hmm.
But at that time, I was still living up there, and there was like no place around that they came to. So they had already broken up before.
Yeah, they didn't
moved to a town big enough that could hold them. You know.
Hey, before the show, you told me something about a snake.
Oh yeah. You was talking about catching snake or seeing all those snakes by your house.
Yeah.
Yeah, I work at a water plant, and so it's 3 stories. So we got a basement where all the pumps and everything are. Yeah. And because they have a lot of bugs down there, they'll put out the glue traps to catch the bugs. Uh-huh. I went down there Saturday you have to do like walkarounds to make sure nothing's broken. And I go down there, and there's a freaking at least 4 foot long king snake. It was probably about twice as big as like a silver dollar. You know, it was easily like that big around.
Fuck.
Stuck on 2 glue traps. And so like that's what I got to do that day. I went down there and got some stuff to like break down the paper and all that to get it off the glue trap, and like took it out of the building, and really slow had to like peel a snake off of this freaking glue stuff. It's like making this big long gluey thing. Oh, it was a mess. I got it all off though. And he never tried to bite me.
You saved You saved the snake?
Oh yeah. I used to have pet snakes, and so I'm totally comfortable with handling snakes. And I knew that the thing wasn't going to bite me. Plus, at first, its head, like from about you know, like this far down was glued to the thing, so it could only move its head around. So I just released everything until I got up to its head, and by that time it could tell like I wasn't there trying to eat it, so it didn't try and bite me.
Barbarian,
yeah, I mean it's sad. It was really sad to see it, but so I had to do that.
Dude, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, I know. I have a big heart.
Anybody else would have killed that snake, dude.
Oh yeah. Anybody else that I worked with, they would have killed it. They might not even killed it. They might have just used a shovel to pick it from the dumpster alive and let it die.
Yeah.
And I sure wasn't gonna do that.
Dude.
And there ain't no telling how long it was down there. Like the shift before me could have saw it and just left it. So I don't know. I ain't letting that shit sliding.
That always pisses me off, man, because I remember there was a cop here, I don't know, he was on social media or something, caught like a big cottonmouth, and I'm like, dude, why do you gotta kill it, dude? Just get it if you can, remove it, and we're so down here, it's pretty much swamp within about 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Let's release the thing.
We live in the Everglades, yeah.
Yeah, take it away from like people's houses. Like I can understand that, you know. Especially like around here, we have copperheads and cottonmouths, and like people have a lot of wood burning stoves, and so them cottonmouths or the copperheads will get into your logs over the summer when you got them sitting out there drying, you know, seasoning. They'll get out there and they'll make their nest in there, and so when wintertime comes and you go to burn wood, you got freaking a bunch of baby copperheads in there. But yeah, it's like you just try and remove them. You don't have to kill them.
Yeah,
that's always been my thing. Like I'm a vegetarian and I'm a big animal person, so like I'm not gonna kill anything if I can help it. Dude. And I'll always try and help it if I can. Like I'm that dude that stops traffic to pick up turtles.
That's awesome, dude. I commend you.
Unruly nodes and snakes.
Like snakes.
King snakes are our friends.
Yeah, king snakes eat everything.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? I saw something in the chat that I have to bring up, man. I don't know if you guys saw it. It was on at 8. I caught most of the replay really fast because I couldn't see it live. But man, NYC just got an amazing AOK from quite a few people.
Was that the Golden Age stuff?
He got some mods. You guys got to go watch that. It was pretty freaking mind blowing. But you know what else I want to ask you about Kung Fu? You're big into the freaking auctions, bro. You kind of touched on it earlier.
Yeah, well, this hobby's expensive.
Yeah,
it's not cheap. So, and I don't make a lot of money. Like my family, we're not wealthy at all.
Mm-hmm.
We've been fortunate with all this COVID stuff that me and my wife have been able to keep working. So we've had income the whole time.
Good.
But yeah, like, the stuff I collect isn't cheap. Like I'm doing the Amazing Spider-Man run. I don't know if you've seen it, but like I have almost the whole run. I only have the really expensive ones to get. So for me to keep buying comics, I got to find money somewhere. So yeah, and it's fun too. Like I get to hang out with people. I get to go out hunting more often because like if I can pull in $100 on an auction, then I can take that $100 and just go out comic book shopping with it. And I can buy for $100. I can buy like 2 short boxes full of books, and maybe half of those will be ones I keep, and the other half I'll sell. And if I can make my money back from those, then I can go out and buy more comics, and it's not costing me anything. That's like the whole premise behind all that. It started with C2E2, though. I had to raise money to go to C2E2 because, like I said, I didn't have a lot of money, and my wife's like, "You can go, but we're not paying for it." It's like, yeah, well, I understand that. So I started selling stuff I didn't want, and then I was like, I'm making some money here. I could buy some stuff just to flip. And then it got to the point where a lot of people have told me, like, you get the best stuff. And it's like, well, I mean, that must mean that you like my taste in comics, because I buy stuff I don't care if I have to keep. So if somebody doesn't buy this book and I got to keep it, I'm cool with that.
I'm about to dip my toe in the whole thing. So
it's fun. Like me and Mo Comics, we started out doing it on Instagram, and it's been over a year ago that we were trying to do it on Instagram. And every now and then, like Biggie's on the New York Warriors, he'd let me on there, or he'd let Mo on there. And like I sold with Thorough a couple times, and sometimes they'd go good, sometimes they wouldn't. I wouldn't sell anything. And we just decided one day that we should just do our own auctions on Mo's channel, because I just got my internet all set up here where I can do it with my laptop, and that's why I started doing them on my channel now. But
nice.
Mo got tired of it. Not that he got tired of doing it, but he just didn't have the stuff to do it anymore. And he wasn't one of the fortunate ones that got to keep working with all the COVID stuff. So if you don't have money coming in, you don't have any way to buy stuff to sell, you eventually run out.
You do that Tuesdays, right? It's called the Symbiote.
Yeah. I started it because me and Mo are both in the same club. We started it with the club guys, where originally on his channel we had, me and him and Sasquatch 210 and Tank Collects, Empty Tomb Comics. He comes on there, and Peter Parker's on there with me now. He wasn't selling with us then, but he's on it now. And so, it's just a continuation of that same thing that we were doing. Same time. We do it just before the New York Warriors, and we end right when they start. And we just kind of joke around and say, we're the warm-up band for the Warriors. You go in there, get your wallet out, stretch it a little bit, get rid of all the 1s and 5s. You don't need them.
Hey, I watch a lot. I watch sometimes, and I don't comment. I'm just watching those.
Oh, you're a lurker.
I'm a lurker for the auctions. I just watch. I don't buy. But you got a good book yesterday, because I was watching when it happened.
Oh yeah, I
was watching when it happened. And you just said you collect the Amazing Spider-Man, and you got a book that I'm after.
Yeah, the 252.
No, not that one. I'm not talking about that one. The 50.
Oh, I've had a 50. Well, I got it at C2E2 this year.
But did you're the one that got the one last night, right?
No. Somebody else put that up.
Oh.
Somebody else bought that. I didn't buy that.
Oh, I thought it was you, man. I thought it was you. It was
that was the slab one that Airboy had, right?
Airboy, yeah.
For sale.
Oh, Airboy has some good books.
He does.
It was a nice looking 2.5. What's up, Disco? It was a nice
Simple Simon.
Yeah, and it was a really good price too. You can't beat that.
I thought it was you, man.
No, luckily I was able, when we went to C2E2 this year, I took I probably took 20 or 25 old Golden Age books up there. I was able to trade stuff, so I really didn't buy a whole lot of stuff. I just did a bunch of trading and wheeling and dealing, and was able to get an ASM 50 and a 31 and a 121. And
damn, those are some great books. Those are some big keys.
I can't remember if it was a 19. I can't remember. Yeah. I got 3 of them that were on my list to get this year, and then one more. I think it was a 19. Yeah, I got a 19, a 31, a 121, and a 50.
What's the 19? Is that the Scorpion?
No, it's not any first appearance or anything like that. It's here, I can show you. Oh, let's see. Yeah, just that one.
Oh yeah, that's a classic cover, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a nice cover.
Kind of goes back to the 60s cartoon.
Yeah, for real, right?
Yeah, totally. That's the one that reminds me of that show.
I just got a 21 last night. I won one on eBay. I hadn't got it yet, but I paid for it, so it better show up.
You hope it shows up, dude. Look at
I know, right?
It took Javi over a month to get an A-OK. I don't know what the hell happened to that. Yeah,
I
dude.
wouldn't know about that. No, I thought you were talking about X Collect. He was doing an auction with Meta last week, I think it was.
Oh, what did you do?
And he put up an ASM 252, near mint copy, and I won it for $31. I thought that's what you were talking about. Yeah, it was
No,
a
I
great.
didn't do that, dude. I didn't
That
see
was last week. Yeah, that was the
Yeah,
big
it was pretty
story last
crazy.
week.
I
Has
couldn't
that come in the
believe it.
mail
I was
yet?
like, there's no way that no one's gonna bid on this again. And
nobody.
then they were like, okay, you get it. And I'm like, what? I almost
Nobody
felt bad because like that's such a low price for that book. I
Nobody.
almost always shows up like all messed up. So
Only a couple people were bidding, and
yeah, it's crazy.
they sold it early.
$31 for a 252.
Yeah, and he said it's like he's like this could be a near mint in the nines. And I only wanted it because I mean I'll keep it. I won't sell it, and I already have one. So and that one I got from a friend, so I won't sell that one either. But whichever one's nicer, I'll send it off and get it graded. And I have all the other black suits all graded, so I'll like put those all up on the wall somewhere together and have like all the black suits slabbed right there.
So yeah, look, Barbarian was hustling in Chicago. I guess you got to hang out with Javi, right?
Yeah, it was fun. I got to meet him, and that was one of my bucket list things. I've always liked hanging out in like the chats and stuff with Javi. He's cool. Javi, sorry. Yeah.
No, it's all good. It's all it's all so similar.
I
He came over to the all the symbiotes we all put in and got like an Airbnb, and he came over the last night and we all hung out, and it was fun. It was a great time, man. I got to hang out with all these people that I've only ever seen like this or like on my phone texting.
Yeah.
So it was a really cool experience.
That's
Dude,
awesome.
isn't that amazing, right?
Yeah. And it's funny too, because, you go into a situation like that and you have your doubts about, is this person going to be what I think they are?
Yeah.
Are they going to be, as funny as they are in the chat room, or like, they always bust witty comments in the live streams and stuff. So it's awesome when you meet them in person and everybody is like everything you expected, but better. So it's like, the whole trip, man, it was the best. Like one of the highlights of like all the shit that I've ever done.
I totally understand what you mean.
Yeah.
The symbiote clubhouse. That's what
Yeah. We were all in the symbiote club. And I brought all my tattoo gear. I was gonna give free tattoos, but no one was man enough to step up.
Okay, you do ink too?
Yeah, it's not like my profession, but yeah, I learned to tattoo at a tattoo shop and just kind of did it as like a side hustle for a while. A couple years, slinging ink. It's pretty fun.
Dude, I was talking about Kenny being the freaking Renaissance man. Shit.
Yeah, I do. I have I wear a lot of hats. You could say I'm a jack of all trades and a master of none.
Yeah,
Yeah. Like I was talking about collecting guns. Like I do gunsmithing too. Like I built guns from nothing. Like bought all the parts, milled them out, put it together, take it to the range, and shoot it. Okay, it works. Stick it in a closet, and there it goes.
As long as it doesn't blow up when you shoot, right? When it doesn't.
Yeah, that's the main thing. Get a real long string when you pull that trigger.
Yeah.
They look at you really weird at the gun range, though, when you walk up there and you lock your gun down in a gun vise. Then you tie a string to the trigger and stuff like that. They're like, what's this guy about to do?
Stand back.
Everybody duck and cover.
Dude, I've said this before. I've never even shot a gun in real life, so that's totally alien to me.
Really?
I've never shot a gun. I said it before. It's just not my thing. I'll machete a guy to death, but I won't shoot a guy.
I'll go samurai on a motherfucker, but I ain't gonna shoot him.
I got my machete right next to my bed, and I got like one of those aluminum bats, the small one. Fucking ass.
That's hilarious. Sleep with the gun. I have to let him get close enough to hit him.
Yeah.
I could throw it.
Well, I could throw
it and then come real quick with the machete.
He has a plan. He has it all planned out.
I got plans. I'll throw plates. But thank God, haven't had
with a sauce dish.
Yeah, sauce dish, a fucking do like a frisbee shit. Thank God I haven't had to. All right, man. I think, dude. I just gotta say, man, I learned a lot of stuff, man. I never would have guessed from you tonight, Barbarian, man.
Yeah, good stuff.
I never would have imagined it, right?
Illusion.
But thank you so much for coming on, bro. I know you got something after the show tonight. What are you doing tonight?
Yeah, I'll be over on Metaphorical's channel, Metaphorical's Comics, and he's doing an auction. And so I'll be over there. I just got back, like I said earlier. I came from the shop today, bagged and boarded up a bunch of stuff, and we'll have a bunch of new stuff up there for sale today. Some cool stuff. Like I said, I don't really know a whole lot about DC, but I know a lot of people like Batman, and a lot of people like the DC Universe, or the DC Universe logo variants and like stuff like that. So I'm always hunting stuff that's I know people will like.
Nice.
But, got a bunch of stuff like that, and all the Marvel stuff in the world that I always buy. But I'll be over there. We usually stay on for quite a while.
Yeah, I think they've already started over there on Metaphorical's channel. They've already started the auction over there. So
yeah, hey, I do appreciate it. I don't want to take no money out of your pocket, bro.
Oh, hey, no worries.
I do appreciate you coming on and getting to know you, man.
yeah, man.
Yeah, for sure. And if y'all aren't doing anything on Monday's the day to go. Monday at 11 o'clock, me and Mr. Gorell on his channel, we do the Hunters Show. That's the best one. That's the funnest show. That's the funnest thing I do on YouTube. Because, like, me and Mr. Gorell, we're friends. And that's really the only time we get to sit down and hang out with each other. Because he lives in Texas and I live in Georgia. And so, like, yeah, I go out every week and I buy stuff and I get stuff on eBay. And he never buys anything. And so I always give him a hard time because he never has anything new to show.
Bro, that's actually a very good show. I always, for some reason, that's like when I get into bed and I catch the end of you guys. Like on Monday, I think you had a contest or something.
Yeah, we just did our contest for the original John Beatty art.
Yeah, I jumped in right at the end, and I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna comment because it's like I just came at the end. I feel kind of weird. Look! He pops in at the end. What a fucking.
Oh yeah, the contest didn't have anything to do with the chat, so it wouldn't have mattered. But
no.
We ran the contest for like almost a month, I think, of giving people opportunities to enter.
Who was it that won?
Z Collects won.
That's right. I did see that part, man.
Yeah.
Did win. That you guys did the rough. You did the randomizer.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah, he had the maximum amount of entries you could get. We were joking because it was like him and John's Comics with Kids and Downright Nerdy Podcast. I think the three of them all had the maximum you could get, and we randomized it 3 times. And the first 2 times, none of them was the top one. Like, wouldn't it be hilarious if it was like somebody that just had 1 entry won it, and then Z Collects wins.
I only had 1 entry. I was actually entered. I only had 1. That would have been really cool.
I was joking around with Mr. Gorilla. I was like, why can't I enter it? I mean, I'll leave a comment. Put me on. I want a piece of John Beatty art. Come on.
That was actually a cool contest. But that show's actually good, man, because you guys' banner is good because it's just nonstop. You guys go at each other. It's almost like me and Chad. You know,
it's fun. We just 2 dudes hanging out talking about comics and all the bullshit that goes on in the world and how it affects us. And yeah, it's fun.
It is a good time. And
we show off lots of comics and I guess people like that, and toys. And I buy all kinds of weird shit because I go to flea markets and thrift stores, and it's funny. I give him a hard time because he's never even been to a Goodwill before, and I'm like, dude, I find today at Goodwill I got a Beverly Hills Cop 2 soundtrack on vinyl. Like, you're never gonna get it. I got Over the Top on vinyl, the soundtrack to Over the Top. You're never gonna find anything like that if you just sit there. He's like, oh, it's okay. I don't care.
That's usually the whole show is Barbarian and Gorell says, I don't care. Yeah. I don't care. And he's just on Gorell the whole freaking time the show's on, dude.
And I go out whenever I go hunting, I always get Star Wars books for him. And I'm like, and I got this Star Trek book right here. And then I got this Star Trek book right here. And then and he's like, those are Star Wars. Stop saying Star Trek.
He's a good guy, bro. But hey, man, thank you so much, Javi. What you got going on?
Just the usual, Silver Age Sunday on Conquistadork channel on Sundays, and maybe hopefully jump in on some auctions every now and then. We'll see.
Awesome.
Yeah, Tuesday if you want in.
Yeah, man. I'll let you know for sure. I got to get with Peter because I know that.
If you want to come and sell on Tuesdays, I always got room. I'm
gonna jump in soon. I'm getting ready to do an auction. Jump in an auction. So we'll see. Sell some books. You gotta make this pay for itself.
That's my whole way of looking at it. Like, if something that you love can pay for what you love.
I'm at that point, man. I wanna move some stuff to get some stuff that I really want. But anyway, so what I got. I'll be actually after this show. I'm gonna try to jump in with Not Near Mint. They're doing their fuck, marry, kill show.
Oh, okay.
Where they give you three characters, and you gotta fuck one, you gotta marry one, and you gotta kill one, and it's gonna be.
Let's ask the chat with the panel you see right now. Marry, kill. Let's hear it. Come on, you guys. There's no shame in it. Throw it out there. I know nobody's scared.
No, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go over there now after we're done here, and then I found out today I'm getting my first sideshow statue finally came in, and I'm gonna go pick that up on Saturday. So I'll probably do a.
Ooh, nice.
For that.
Are you gonna tell us what it is?
It's a Colossus statue.
Oh, word! That's awesome.
Yeah, and the guy that's selling it to me, he owns a store, Randy Man of Action Figures. So I'm gonna go down and pick it up and do a video at his place. But he showed me it's a fifth. I got so excited. I'm sorry. I'm so excited. It's a 1,500 piece run, I guess. 1,500. They've made 1,500.
Yeah, it's limited to 1,500. Yeah,
bro, I got number 12, dude. I think that is so freaking cool.
Awesome.
Such a low number. So I'm gonna be doing that, and I'll be showing that. And in the stream, Hialeah. I know he's got to go sell some books. But anyway, guys, thank you so much. I know it's a busy night. It seems like everything's going on tonight. Thank you so much for coming by, everybody. Everybody on the replay, thank you. Man, Simple Simon, thanks for coming by. I did see that comment, Simple Simon, when we were talking about music, and you got into a fight with 10 guys, and I'm sorry you lost, buddy, but I'm not.
Doesn't usually a fight with 10 guys end in like one person dying?
We was at a concert, man. I wish I oh, there it is. Look, I just want to highlight it real quick. I got into a fight at a Dropkick Murphys gig. It was against 10 people. Simon, I'm glad you're okay, buddy. And thanks for coming by. I love you, bro. Be good, everybody. Thank you. Next week, we're on Wednesday, 9 o'clock. Tune in to see who our guest is next week, guys, because we don't usually announce it too much. But thank you for coming by. It's always a surprise. Barbarian, thank you so much for coming on. And Javi, thank you, man. You're the best, bro.
Thank you, guys.
So long for the Sunshine State, everybody. Be good. Stay safe. Oh, shit. Enough said.